Metod, welcome back to our third part of this conversation. I really enjoyed the last two, and I would just like to move forward to the next questions. Professional athletes and sports, and I would like you to give us your opinion about two views. One is from your professional view, working with the spine and how that affects them, because professional athletes are under stress, physical, mental, all the time. And second is the mental view from, let's say, non-professional athletes, their way of thinking. And I'll maybe go into deeper that conversation in more details later on when you attack it, but maybe if you start with from your work, from point of view, from the mechanical view, or pressure on spine, or how it affects their body maybe in the, you know, when they're older.
Okay. Thank you again for opportunity, and thank you for great question. You ask extremely broad question.
I know, because like I mean, the way that I written these questions and the way that I have so many under questions, you know, like so maybe if we just start like
so
with this, like how, because we know that professional athletes, or if you are professional athletes, it's really not good for your body in general. Or maybe later. At least this is how I see it.
If I can answer it, it depends, right?
Okay.
On general, you're completely right. So if we compare body to machine, every time you take a machine and force it to do its maximum, right? If you read technical instructions, there is an optimum, which is not the maximum, right? Optimum is below maximum. But what does being a top athlete means? You go to the top, right?
Yes.
So by very definition, at least few times you push your body to the limits, right? And I'm really glad you asked that question, because the mentality of coaches and top athletes and recreational athletes is in majority the same. That means what that means is, okay, if I want to achieve more, I need to push more, and I need to neglect health at least a little bit, pain at least a little bit. I need to just, you know, be tougher, one rep more. I need to grind my teeth, and I need to push through the pain. In reality, there are all sorts of pain, right? You can have a temporary muscle pain, which is perfectly okay. But regarding the spine rehab, every single good thing you do for your spine, your performance will be better. So, for example, NBA players, when they're over their 40s, they can still be very agile, but they lose the height in the jump. You don't train their legs. You increase the spine torso stability, and they can dunk a ball again. Okay? If you have a chess player and he has a pressure on the spinal cord, his brain will not function very well. I told in the first part that brain actually shrinks under the constant pain. So it doesn't matter if you're a sprinter, jumper, martial artist, power lifter, strongman, or bodybuilder. If you center your training sessions to be spine centered, you will be automatically better, just by very definition. When we chatted on our pre-coffee Zoom meeting, I mentioned Roman soldiers defeating the other arm is by walking fast, right? When your spine is stable and you don't have these micro movements in the spine, you have the access to the full power of your legs and arms. And when your spine is unstable, doesn't even need to get injured. You just need to have these micro movements of the disc. The brain will shut down the power from legs and arms. And you can see this on strongman competitions when they do something that they can do for few like 10 or more reps, and the winner does the most reps in given amount of time. Whether they throw rocks into some container, they have different competitions, right? But they do something heavy. And you can see this before they do their not less, but one rep before last rep, their torso shivers a little bit. You can really look for it so you can see it. But as soon that the spine shivers, that some micro movement occurs, they can do just one rep more and they're finished. And they have left reps on the table. They could do more reps. They could do more repetitions, whatever were they doing, if they would be able to keep their spine stable under the load, right? So if you want to access full power of your legs and arms, you need to be spine centered, right? Same goes with the repetitive movement, right? If you're on the bicycle, and I would give you the frame of bicycle that would be extremely stiff. That means that all your force gets translated into the movement. Now I give you, I'm exaggerating, of course, the frame of bicycle made of the chewing gum and some paper, right? Meshed up paper. And this is just twisting, bending, or the load that you're exerting on the bike. Now your force is getting lost because you were not able to provide the stiffness from the frame. So that's the same thing happens with marathon runners. If your core is not stiff where it needs to be in the moment on the contact with the ground, you're just losing force for deformation of the spine, which, by the way, are not good. If you repeat some deformation over and over, that can result in injury. So I hope I put on some frames that, being a top athlete is risky regarding the health because you are pushing boundaries. On the other hand, you can do that much safely. But the people that were top athletes, and you will visit them at home, and they will be jumping on the box with the weight behind their neck in the age of 80 or even more, that they're completely healthy in the age of 70, 80. And these guys are extremely rare that have been champions and then they are okay in their age. These guys never trained through their ego when they were champions. They did the stabilization exercise. Some said, oh, this is just some not so important exercise for joint protection, for spine protection. They did these exercises as that these exercises are their top sport. Meaning, I don't care how much my bench press is so much, but I care about my shoulder stability more. I care about my spine stability more. And they never, ever push the boundaries of their sport on the coaching, training sessions. They push the boundaries on the competition. So now you see how it all comes together. People say we have a sport science, and then we have these energetic ancient sciences, but they all come together. If you will not be open to new ideas, if you will not be able to lower your ego and to listen and learn from the masters in your sport, and you're just going to push your activity through your ego, you're not going to get injured. And if you're a top athlete, chances are that you will not be able to do anything, even on the recreational level. And this is really obvious on the veteran Olympics when there is next to zero there is no people that were Olympians in their prime, right? So when we go to veteran games in the judo, guys who never won any medals before, now they're winning the medals, and I consider these medals to be true medals. Why? Because these guys who are grandfathers and grandmothers, these guys are able to live pain-free life. They are physically very, very strong. They can throw up their grandchildren in the air and catch them. They can help their sons and daughters with their grandsons. They are like, this is going to sound wrong, like they are not burden to society. They are contributors to society, right? And to address the second question, the mentality of people who are just recreational athletes, it's the same thing. If we watch our Slovenian competitions, what's the most famous recreational cyclist competition here in Slovenia? On it's race on Vršič, right? Vranja, yeah. If you would test these people, recreational, everyday Joes and Janes, on drugs, you would get very high occurrence of using forbidden performance enhancer. They have the same mentality. I will take anything, I will do anything to get better, right? So these guys, you can see, you probably know your coworker and friends who kills himself every single training session, kills himself, right? If he didn't create some mechanical injuries, which probably he did, when every time we kill ourselves with exercise, when we work ourselves into the ground, you just sacrifice your technique. You just did something suboptimal for your body. But then your immune system is much weaker. Then you're tired, and I call this man menstruation. When you're really tired from doing too much on the training, you cannot sleep very well. You're cranky in the morning. You tend to shout on your kids and so on. Basically, people have this same mentality, which I call Hollywood rehab or Hollywood way of training. 1 rep more, no pain, no gain. In reality, pain is no gain, right? You need to know which kind of pain can you afford. And if we talk about being the best in your sport, whether it's just being better than you were or being the best in the world, the retired Olympians who are the best in the world in their sports, like several Olympic cycles, like 2 or 3, right? So there was no coincidence that these guys are really top-notch on the world level. When they retired, they posted all their training journals on the internet for the people to use. And do you know how many times if you look at the 10 coaching sessions, how many times of these 10 coaching sessions they would work themselves into the ground? They would do all the reps they could. They were clenching their teeth and just leaving nothing in, all out, right? Give me the percentage of their trainings that they were really pushing the boundary. What do you think this percentage would be?
70, 80.
I think, well, I was just thinking about this because, like, from my point of view, watching, because I like to watch, for example, documentaries about successful athletes, or, you know, the franchise, that's how they became successful. And in some sports, especially in the last 10 years, that mentality, 10, 15 years, mentality from, oh, we need to kill ourselves on every training, went from, I think this percentage you're talking about now is low, maybe 20, 30%. That's my opinion. But in the past, I think was much higher, because the knowledge of how to train changed in the last 15 years with technology. So, you know, it's a big difference if you're in professional club where you have let's talk about, let's mention Luka Doncic. That is very famous. So everybody knows who we're talking about, that in the basketball world. So an athlete like that, who luckily had no major injuries, got into the right club, so all the puzzles came together. He had around a professional team since young age.
Yeah, but by the way, sorry to interrupt you. Do you know who takes care of NBA spines?
No.
It's McGill master clinician Brian Carroll.
Okay, I don't know who that is, right?
Well,
Okay.
he's I know his record still holds, but he was a power lifter. But what I tried to communicate is this is a coach who is a spine centered.
Okay. Well, I'm very familiar, but I forgot his name now, with the personal trainer of Michael Jordan. I'm very familiar with the you got cut a little bit, but I'm very familiar with the coach of personal trainer of Michael Jordan, who actually changed. He was an instrumental part of the six pick. So I don't know, people that don't follow basketball, or it's some time ago. So Michael Jordan was very weak in sense of again, because he was very young when he came to NBA, and every time they lost in postseason was due to physicality, because he was not strong enough against the other. He was not that muscular, or whatever, doesn't matter. So this coach came who trained just him at the beginning, and I forgot his name, and his book is I mean, I really recommend. I'll put in the comments later, or because right now it slipped my mind his name, but he's talking about what you were talking about, this mentality and winning, and he explaining the mentality, but also he was like, he had to prepare him physically to be stronger. But if I go back to what I was saying before, is like Luka, example in Luka Doncic is like, so people like him, so in the past was before everybody went, or UFC athletes, right, in mixed martial arts, especially where I can connect this, like they were like, oh, we need to fight every training, like sparring, getting knocked out, all of that, right? And this mentality changed through time now, because they see like, oh, we don't have to kill ourselves to everything, like the rest is important.
The reality
showers and things like that.
Not only you do not have, you will be much worse off in every sense.
Exactly.
If I can answer the percentage, and then we can jump on the contact fighters, which is one of my favorite topics, by the way. Well, about 10% top athletes push the boundary around 10%, and I'm going to give you a peek inside, if you want to know, through the eyes of through the lens of the fighters, contact fighters. Okay. So if you observe cats are basically fighters, and they are also killers, right? They kill for a living, basically. Not domestic cats, but what the little kittens do, they repeat some movement over and over again, right? And I had a lot of cats, also a few dogs, but what cat likes to do, if there is a puppet, like a little bear, or I had a fluffy cat, like a toy, right? And after a while, in the place of the jugular, the stuffing came out. So this little cat every time nibbled on the right spot, and just trained coordination, how to jump, how to flip that cat stuffed toy over, and deliver a bite on the right place. And what you can observe in children, animals, and top athletes with good coaches is when you train technique, which is extremely important, right? Especially in martial arts. They stop when they are tired. Why? Because when tired, your technique gets sloppy. I don't know if you are into the Thai boxing. Do you know about the Senchai?
I actually trained for a year, so I'm very familiar, and I've been to Thailand, so on and so on. Yeah.
Do you know who's a Senchai?
Well, Sancho isn't the name. That's the name for is one the best of athlete, or is the guy who's really high on the level?
He's both. He's a guy who is still he's a living legend. He still fights.
Okay, I know. Okay, yeah.
So he's not the most powerful one. He's not the most fast one, but he destroys people like on demand and being playful. And what can you observe with every single champion in the contact art, or 99% of them, is they are very playful as little kittens on the sparring. Why would you injure yourself or the sparring partner on a training session? Who is able to perform better, the injured person or not injured person on the competition? How do you teach yourself new tricks? When you're scared, under the stress, or when you feel good? We need to feel good. When we feel good, when we smile, our brain works 20-30% immediately. That's why Tomasz smiles so often. But this perspective of you need to know exactly when and how to push your boundaries is getting into the wider public. Some people still, just destroy themselves on every training session. But what I can say is that every athlete I work with, either top athlete or recreational one, he set new personal best inside 1 month. It doesn't matter. He trained 10 years before, and he did that with ease. Like it just came naturally. Why? Because working yourself into the ground, working through the ego, getting this adrenaline, endorphin rush, natural drugs that body makes, right? This is just a junky way. That's a junky way of doing the sport. And it's not the best one. The best one is having top athlete mentality, which is the same mentality as if you follow this ancient yoga history tales. So when the apprentice approaches the master, his attitude is, I will do anything that will get me to there where I want to be. And that's a not ego path. And what all masters in any field make their apprentices or athletes or coaches do is they teach them the basics, right? In martial arts, many times people do the same. Luka Doncic does the tapping of the ball, shuffling, shooting at the basket. Every day he repeats the same moves every single day without ego, simple ones, because basics set the foundation for a high ground. And a lot of times in martial arts, people ask, Master, where are you going to show me the real stuff? Where are you going to show me the special technique? And the master says, I'm teaching you special technique every day, right? So now having this champion mentality to accept the basics in your heart and do them regularly and return to the basics. What masters do, they don't invent many new stuff. They return to the basics every year, every 5 years. So for me, one given exercise, let's say side plank, I will return to that same exercise with new approach to the breathing, with new approach to how you brace your body, with new, better, more simple words, how to give coaching cues to somebody, with new variants of that exercise, right? I return to the same basics, So following these basics is what will make people happier and at the bottom line better of what they do, not sacrificing basically their future, right? Because typically, if you watch Slovenian judo, our champions have 1-2 artificial knees, right? They brought silver from Olympic Games 2 times, which is of course great. But the high level of knowledge is, can we bring medals home without sacrificing the athletes? Because these guys, which are girls in our case, they will bend down for their kids. They will kneel down for their kids and for their grandkids. And the chances are they will do that with pain, right? So my goal is to bring basics to the public. And one of the biggest one is, don't work yourself to the failure. Okay. When you do that, you need to know why and when you're doing. It's I say I need to earn the right to feel muscle pain. I need to earn the right to suffer.
So, thank you for this answer. Tomasz, do you have any question, or because I want to have another, but
I mean, I have. We were talking a lot about injuries and pains, back pains in a sport, yeah, or with sportsmen. But for me, it is also very interesting the fact that in a Western part of world, let's say, or USA especially, there is almost 30 years an epidemic of back pains, of pains in the body, which the medicine actually doesn't have the right answer, as far as I could understand when studying how to get rid of the, let's say, pain in the body, pain in the back, pain in the neck, pain in the arm, in the leg, in the, how it's called, this part, the lower back pain.
Well, I had few clients which are doctors of medicine, different practitioners.
Yeah.
Family medicine practitioners, oncology, even surgery specialists from the States, and some physiotherapists. And some of these, they just say, Metod, treat me as any other guy, because I know I don't know the basics. The thing is, I'm not, don't get me wrong, I'm not against medicine. Medicine is great. But the spine is some kind of special animal. If we talk about the pain, the disc, they have very poor innervation, meaning you will not feel the pain when the disc gets deformed or injured. You'll feel the pain when the disc bulge or herniation presses on the nerve root passing by, right? So you can do all sorts of horrible stuff to your spine for 10, 20, 30 years. Then one day you bend to pick up the pencil, or you just do your great exercises, which are actually wrecking your spine, like core exercises. Most of them, they wreck exercise. But if I take you to the gym and you would speak to me before, if I would run you through the successful rehab and how the people got injured, on assessment for the spine, for example. Somebody asked them to touch their toes, right? We're talking about that in the first part. They just, if their herniation healed, if they do this with the disc when they bend, they just open the sealed up crack again, right? And now we go enter the gym, you will have the hardest time in your life just to keep your mouth shut and not go to these people and say, look, you will injure your spine sooner or later. And he will say, look at my six packs. Nothing wrong with the six packs again. Nothing wrong with the gym. Nothing wrong with the fitness. But the way people do, for example, crunches, if you want to create disc bulges, herniations, crunches, if we take out the car accidents and lifting too heavy, is a beautiful way to injure your spine. Beautiful way. And NBA doesn't do crunches anymore. Military all over the world, soldiers do not do crunches. Like our soldiers As far as I know, Slovenian soldiers, they don't do crunches anymore. But yeah, if we talk about medicine, performing the right assessment, which is 2 to 3 hours, sometimes even longer, is science, knowledge, and art. They are not getting taught in the schools.
So basically, they
were doctors. I didn't understand.
Basically, they have no tools in broader meaning to assess the right, or to put the right diagnosis.
If I would need to teach you basics of the spine rehab and a doctor, and you are both open-minded, doctor would be far much better than you because he already knows the anatomy. If he's a surgeon, he already opened spine. Yeah. look at it inside. But I will give you a practical example. You have back pain when you sit, okay? But you don't have back pain when you lie down on your back. Now you go take an MRI imaging while lying down. And the deformations in the disc have not occurred. We talked about a few minutes before that. Pain is something pressing the nerve. If you take a finger, press it hard into your cheek and press it for 8-10 hours per day. That nerve will get inflamed. When they get inflamed, it will hurt you more and more. This is a process with the disc bulge. Every day you sit in the car, going to your job, you sit behind office desk. We sit right now, and this bulge gets bigger and bigger, and the nerve gets inflamed. I call it, your nerve root just got blisters on it, right? And your pain is really big, right? But when you lie down, you lie for 5-10 minutes, this bulge, if this position of lying down, of course, agrees with your specific case, everybody's different, now it comes back and you're fine. And now you take an MRI, which lasts about 40 minutes, and your disc bulge is completely in. Now doctor says, you imagine this pain, or this bulge is really small. It's not really so bad. But when you stand or sit for like 30 minutes, it comes out because you pushed it out so many times. It's really loose and weak. You just made your disc more mobile and flexible, by the way, which is another thing people do. They stretch the disc hoping the disc will become stronger. No, if you stretch, disc is made from fabric. It's fabric physics. It's collagen fibers, fabric. If I stretch a fabric, for example, if I cannot stretch this fabric and stretch my arm here, when I achieve this mobility, I just made these fibers looser, weaker, right? It's nothing wrong with the joint mobility in general, nothing wrong with neck thoracic mobility. But if you make a load-bearing part of the spine, which is your lumbar, bottom part, extremely flexible, it will carry no load. This is what you happen. This happens with yoga, Pilates teacher. They're extremely flexible, nothing wrong. But what they don't realize is they made their disc weak. Now they think, okay, I'm really flexible. I need to add weight training. And because muscles adapt really fast, they're able to lift something their spine is not able to tolerate. Which is the same when you have disc bulges, weak disc all over, or disc herniation. What coaches or physiotherapists usually want to do with you first, they want to make you more flexible. You're stiff from the pain, so the solution must be to make you more flexible. Oh, you have disc problems because your core muscles are weak. I need to make you stronger, right? But your muscles did not herniate, your muscles did not bulge, your muscles were perfectly strong enough. The weakest link is your disc. Now, when you engage your core, when you create stabilization, compression, which is perfectly fine, there needs to be stabilization, compression for people with healthy discs, right? That's the way to preserve them. But any kind of core activation is spine compression. Any kind, basically any kind. If I want to stabilize my wrist carrying a weight in my head, Then I just flex my muscles all around the wrist, and I squeeze, I compress my wrist. So if I have injured
Already,
structures inside my wrist and I squeeze it, right, chances are I'm going to exacerbate the injury and create more pain. And this is so many people, this is experience so many people. I did the PT, I did the physical therapy, I work with the coaches, but my pain got worse and worse. And it's nothing wrong with making your core strong with the right kind of exercises. But usually there is a phase where ego is very pushed into the corner, where you just need to learn really basic stuff. What's the best sleeping position surface for me? For some, it's on the belly. Some is on the belly with the pillow under the hips. For some, it's on the side. For some, it's somewhere in between. How do you get out of the bed? How you get on and off the toilet? How you brush your teeth? And this sounds like a joke, but before I mention Brian Carroll, right? He was a former weightlifter champion with totally obliterated spine. One of the things he had, his sacrum, that's the base of the spine, was cracked. Like his sacrum almost was split in half. His disc was obliterated. The soft jelly part of the disc exploded into his vertebrae, destroying the bones of his spine, right? Well, he needed to be extremely humble, extremely careful, and address every single movement in his day, 24-hour cycle, day and night. And so he rehabs for 2 years, trained smartly for 1 year, and he regained, I think he lifted 598 kilos with deep squat, right? And you cannot recognize his spine imaging before and after.
And
but
if I return, excuse me, Metod, it is possible to do a rehab completely 100% back to the healthy?
You mean non-surgically?
Yes, absolutely.
The answer is, again, it depends. So we were talking about energies and spiritual stuff before, and in the first time of podcast, I said that it's about how much energy the body has, right? And it's not really classical medicine, physiological, biomechanical knowledge and ancient knowledge. For me, this is the same because they teach the same. They both teach, if the body has zero energy, you die. If you have very low energy, the stuff will move slow inside your body. So the stuff you need will come into your cells very slow. The toxins you don't need, they will come out very slow, right? So if I'll send you guys a picture, you can put it inside the podcast later. You cannot believe that this guy did non-surgical rehab because his spine is destroyed. Like if the disc is on MRI like that, and it's usually gray, more grayish, whitish color, his discs are like black line, like flat black line. And if the vertebrae has the shape of the vertebrae and darker gray color, you can see like in the comic books where the explosion is they're in shape of the explosion. Like and this is really what happens if you compromise the upper part of the disc, which is called end plate, right? And it's the part where the bone and the disc connect. And these fibers are different. They're called Sharpie fibers. If you lift something with a perfect technique, everything is perfect. Your breathing pattern is perfect. Your bracing, everything is perfect. But if you lift to your maximum spine capacity, what happens is that the end plate fractures. So these Sharpie fibers, they get teared apart a little bit. Similar process of just exerting maximal force on your muscles. Your muscle fibers will tear up a little bit, okay? Now, what people in the gym do not know, we are talking about knowing when to push limits and when not, is that for the end plate to regenerate and become stronger, you need at least 4, but usually 5, 6 days. So it needs to be 6-day cycle between loading your spine maximally. And we're talking about healthy spine now.
Yeah.
You don't load your spine maximally, you have spine issues, right? But if you keep on doing your personal best every other day or every third day, this crack in end plate grows bigger and bigger. And one day, your nucleus explodes. And when I say it explodes, I mean it explodes up into a vertebra, which is the bone hard part of your spine, and shatters the bone at least a little bit, right? And I told you guys that you measure in the laboratory, you take the swine spines from pig, you load them and measure the pressure inside the disc with the same sensors used to measure the pressures with explosions. Okay. So we have a system called spine that does not have a feedback loop reporting the pain and can bear tremendous loads and tremendous abuse until something happens. Now, this is what I communicated, that this is extremely dynamic system that behaves differently when you lie down and you're up. Sometimes people would need to take standing MRI, sitting MRI, and MRI is just, MRI imaging is just an image of your spine in this 45 minutes of span that you took MRI, okay? And what you can see on the MRI is disc hydration, like the dehydrated discs, they will be more dark. You can see the shape and size of the disc in this fraction of time in your life, right? What you cannot see on MRI is how strong the discs are and under which load, movement, posture, durations of this, like it's not the same standing for 5 minutes or standing for 4 hours. This is what MRI does not show.
Yeah, so, but how do you check then this? How do you find out what's the real issue?
I can give you just example through the stories, because this is like a detective work. Like basic frame is the same, but then you follow up the lead. So the last client I work with her, she already did a lot of work. The last one was with McGill Master Clinicians in Australia, right? And we went through her MRIs. Like I'm not against medical tests. I'm not against doctors. Doctors are extremely efficient if they educate themselves out of the system, if they lower their ego. And for her, what I always check with people, what I would ask you, Mateusz, is if you say I have a back pain, okay, I'm interested in all your sports you did. I would go through your Facebook profile and want to see your pictures like 10 years ago and pictures now. I try to see if your posture has changed. Like we go through your whole history. When was the first occurrence of the back pain? What did you do to cause it? Did you do crunches? If you train basketball, like we go through your whole history. We go through your all pain triggers, right? Okay, Metod, and also timing of pain triggers. Okay, Metod, in the morning, I can barely walk, but after the lunch, I can walk. Okay, so there is also a timing of pain triggers, which are not addressed by far, not addressed enough by a lot of good clinicians, but not addressed by far. Like doctor does not even ask, he needs to observe you walking from the car. Okay, this guy shut the door of his car. When he came to me, he parked the car. He got out of the car with pain. Like my assessment, if you come to see me, starts with me observing you, how you drove your car, how you parked your car. Are you a wild, aggressive driver? Are you have this aggression in yourself? Did the brakes screech? Did you pull on your handbrake with really aggressive sound, or you pulled very carefully? Did you get out of the car and immediately, I have this back pain, right? That means your pain trigger is rotation. You just rotated your body when you got out of the car. How you close your door on the car. How you walk towards my house. How did you ring? Did you ring like very aggressive, or you just ring ding and waited like a little shy mouse? I'm already analyzing your character. How did you open the doors? How did you take out your shoes? How did you see?
So it's a complex process.
Of course. Now I get these leads. I get these leads. Who did the crime? Who did the spine injury? Who murdered your spine? And I need to follow these leads as a detective. So I will check on that guy, not on that guy. And guys are your pain triggers, your habits, your movement habits, your postures. So with this given person, she had back pain from her 7 years of age. She fell down from the horse. And she worked with the best professionals she could find, right? And now she said, Metod, I'm just willing to accept I will in my life, or I'll be in the pain for my whole life. I just need to make it bearable. And all that were needed for her, I just asked her, like, when do you have more pain, in the morning or in the evening? Well, I tend to be better in the evening, but when in the morning I have really bad pain. Said, now the next question. Okay, now we have the guy, the potential criminal in the morning. Now I'm examining this guy in the morning, right? Which is her activities. When you open your eyes, are you in pain? No, I'm not in pain when I open my eyes. Okay, do you take any painkillers before you go to sleep or in the morning? No, she does not take painkillers, right? So now I know this information is real. There's no chemical filters in between. Say, then when do you have pain? Well, you know, when I dress my kids, then I start to get pain. I said, and then I check first where she sleeps, how she gets out of the bed, right? Why? Because in the morning our spine is desensitive. You can just, then it's 10x, literal 10x probability you'll injure your spine. Then she has kids. And if you guys, you have kids, you know what's the deal? They're unpredictable, they move around, they pull you, they don't, you wrestle the alligator, right? And all we needed to do is we just optimized her sleep. We got her husband to deal with the kids, which is, by the way, not working in the morning. So the solutions were already there. And then we went on optimizing her exercises, right? Mm-hmm. The thing is, she hired me to optimize her exercises, which we did. But first, we needed to create pain-free life. First, you need to get pain-free. First, you need to stop bulging your disc. First, you need to stabilize your disc. Then you can load it. It's a bit the same as you broke your bone in the arm. Yeah. First, you let the bone heal. Then you do the weight training. Right? You don't jump to weight training when some tissue is compromised in your body, right?
Metod, so, okay, we got to there, like, I'll jump a little bit to a
I hope that answered the question on the doctors. When you went to the doctor for back pain, did they took 1 or 2 hours to go through your history? Did they analyze their movement? And analyzing the movement of people is science, art, and the skill. You can do all the right education, take all the right courses with all the kind of books. You need to analyze people constantly.
Yeah, but they don't have time for that. So yeah,
that's another thing. The insurance covers. They take a look at MRI, 5 minute assessment.
Look, with other guests we had so far, we emphasized several times, right, that we are not against the medical or doctors or anything like that. Far from that. I think it's just that it's, in the end of the day, it's a system. It is what it is. And at this point, I really wouldn't go into this direction because I have completely we talked about this before
we are not going in that direction.
But let me just ask you this question. Just give me a second, please. I want to go to a different direction right now. We talked about this the next question before we start recording. And it's funny because I've been reading about this or educating myself for the last maybe couple, 3-4 weeks, and reading about it and trying to figure out a Kundalini energy.
Ah,
okay, yeah. Now we did a turn on the left to read about that, but
yeah.
so can you
that.
just first, from your knowledge, explain what is it and how maybe can help us?
I will make a smooth passage to that question. I would just like to say that regarding the medicine personnel, doctors, nurses, and PTs, on general, they are awakening, they are being more and more modest and learning outside the system. And I believe that the stuff we speak about right now, like, for example, acupuncture is now, at least in Slovenia, part of official medical system.
Okay.
It's covered by the insurance.
That's improvement. That's
all systems are improving. And if we talk about Asian systems, the Asian systems, they need science. They need medicine. They need to be taken through the lenses, the filters of modern science to be usable for us living the modern life. I cannot instruct you, Mateusz, go sit on the top of the Himalaya and just meditate.
Yeah, exactly.
We talked about 4.5 length meditations before and how I optimize it to 40 minutes. You need to take modern science to optimize the ancient knowledge. Some things have changed, like the world is not energetically the same as was before.
I completely agree with you what you said.
So just to say this, I appreciate science, I appreciate medicine.
Of course.
Like I love statistics, physiology, chemistry. I love math. I love physics. For me, this is the part of the same system. For me, it's just, is it working or is it not working for you?
Exactly.
That's the bottom line question. I don't care how you call that science, right? If something's making you better and continues to make you better, that's your absolute truth. That's your science, right? Talking about Kundalini, I need to say that I do not consider for myself to be any spiritual master or guru. I'm just the guy who was kind of forced to learn this stuff because there was no other way, right? So I started to study yoga textures and spiritual books when I was in my high school, and in that period we were hiding that stuff. Like if you were into that stuff, you were a cuckoo automatically. Like even riding a bicycle, just running in a rural area, some farmers would say, look at him, like he could be working on the field and he's running, right? Yeah. And in a sense that they were kind of right. Like maybe I was running too much. Maybe I should spend more energy, doing the functional exercise on the field, right? But we were like cuckoo cases back there. If you were into the spirituality, you need to hide that. But it seems really funny for me that the first book I read were also good ones. And one of the things I read was like, in old school of yoga, the master said, if you have spine issues, you could not get enlightened, which is, in other words, you cannot leave the Kundalini energy up and circulate around the spine. And what they compared Kundalini energy is atomic energy, right? So they said this is extremely powerful and dangerous energy. And if you start lifting it up unprepared, you are putting yourself in big trouble, right? So if I pivot a little bit towards the spine, I met two guys. They are like life coaches, energetical coaches. They did teach people how to live better, how to earn more money, and so on, right? And we talk about the spine, and they are a couple, lady and guy, lovely guys. And she said, I feel pain here. I feel pain here in my spine. And immediately I started doing my detective case, right? You don't know that, but I'm already analyzing. So what are you doing? It's one of the things she said. I'm doing my exercises regularly. I don't do too much. Like, she was smart enough, not doing too much. I do this and that. And I could not pinpoint the source of her energy until she stated, I do Kundalini breathing. I have a Kundalini coach. I have my Kundalini guru, and we do Kundalini regular. And what Kundalini does when you lift it through the energy centers, Tomasz, we spoke that you start on the journey of working yourself, addressing the subconscious, your childhood, and so on. And you just stirred into that area, and you see how many stuff, how many emotions, how many memories, how many stuff that needs to be worked through came out. You said, I feel it here, right? You can feel it anywhere in your body. You can feel it in lower centers, in your throat, wherever this is. But as long as you have, let's call them blockages, and now, and this is pure physics, if there, I have huge energy flow, whether it's fire, whether it's electricity, whether it's a fluid, like a water, moving really harshly, and I present this energy with the blockage, this energy is going to attack, physically attack the blockage. So if you raise your Kundalini energy and you still have unresolved issues here, many people don't know the anatomy, right? But the heart rests on the top of the stomach. Now you can start to feel your stomach burning. Now you can feel your membrane burning. Now your heart starts to beat irregularly. You have heart arrhythmia. And these are medical problems with energy causes. And again, we talk about basics. So now I see this Kundalini guru, which is not real master because he would not allow people to do Kundalini regularly. I see his apprentice teaching other people. And they, by the way, these people have their value. Like, these guys are good, but there are basics in every stuff, including the Kundalini. You don't mess with the Kundalini when you're not ready. Like, do you know like how they employ guys in nuclear plant there? Like, you have 8 hours of psychological tests. And this is the brother of my wife. He works as a cook in a nuclear plant, and he needs to do 8 hours of psychological testing just to be cook in nuclear plant. Now, if we want to manage the nuclear power inside your body, you sure need to be ready and knowledgeable, and you need to be doing enough inner work. And doesn't matter, you can go to classical psychoanalysis therapy, gestalt therapy, Alexander therapy, rebirthing breathing, walking on fire, regression, ayahuasca, whatever that addresses you to be good enough that you can go on the weekend lunch with your family and not get triggered, because that's one of the definitions of being enlightened. Meeting your mother, father, brother, sister, whatever you have, not getting triggered. So then maybe then you can do Kundalini. I don't know. I have my own definitions of.
I mean, I really like it. It's so basic and so easy explained.
Yeah, really nice explanation. I have another question. Can you maybe you don't have to do it now, maybe we can put it later, we'll write it, but can you give us some good sources where we can read about this, or Kundalini
read about
energy?
the Kundalini energy?
Yes, exactly.
Well,
maybe a book, maybe a website, maybe
I did not learn what I found out. I'm pretty sure, like, my basic belief is everything is on the internet. Like, every precious mineral or diamonds or gold, whatever you're looking for, it's in the planet Earth.
I
Just
understand.
don't know how to find it, right?
I understand. I have no issue. I'm doing my own research.
What I try to communicate,
anyway.
the stuff I'm communicated with it. I didn't learn in some book.
Okay. So
I learned it from
Yeah.
I learned it from my mentors, and why I promote mentoring. Like, you don't need to work with my mentors, but I do promote mentoring because the mentor will tell you the right next step and the right basics, and warn you. He will see what you're prone of. Oh, you're prone to doing too much. I need to hit brakes. I need to hit brakes with you. Oh, you are too scared, maybe too lazy to do to challenge yourself. Oh, I will push you, right? I will push you. So I cannot, like, the stuff on the spine and yoga I read in my high school, and I forgot the title of the books. I would really provide it. If I will encounter some books, I will share them. But I learned that stuff, real basics about how the energy works, from Horjak, which is a guy I would recommend you to have on the podcast. Like, he was every single time surprising me with everything he told me. He surprised me because it was totally different perspective, angle of the things everybody's talking about. And his definitions of the stuff, he's, by the way, former CEO of development in the Iskra. That's the company that invented fax machine in Slovenia. He's electrical engineer. So we can talk physics, we can talk mathematics. He gives me really exact definitions. Physical one of spiritual stuff. For example, he says good and bad energies, they are not completely different frequency. They are just a slight notch off. But he gives me definitions for the physics. He talks about frequencies. He talks about electrical current. So he talks in the language of science. But what I would encourage people is look for the mentor who has really good track record of solving the unsolvable. Because if your back pain hurts because you move too much, not move too much, it hurts just because you sit too much, any coach will do. That's an easy case. He will teach you to take the stairs. He will teach you to work out regularly. That's not rocket science, right? Now, if your spine is obliterated and you cannot work out, now you need a better coach. You need, like, I tried everything. I usually work with people who hire the most expensive guys on the world already. I do not say you need to work with the most expensive guys to work with me, but usually I work with complex cases. Why? Due to the 30 years of the experience, including having sciatica on both legs, busted my neck, having issues. I had issues with bowel control, which is pretty damaged spine, right? Before my 30s. I was losing consciousness sometimes. I would fall down not knowing that this was spine related, right? I would change a posture and I would just fall down. So that was all. I had my 6 packs. I was really fit, really good lung capacity. I was the really fit guy. Having these issues, not connecting the dots. Yeah. But I went abroad again. But a rule of the thumb regarding the mentoring, these guys, they need to have at least 10 years of experience. That's bare minimum.
I mean, it's for everything. Like we mentioned, the previous is like, like, or you're doing ayahuasca, or you're doing anything, especially connected to energies. you know, you can't learn in over the weekend. For ayahuasca, I think it's 7 to 10 years of mentoring that you become a master for ayahuasca. And for anything like that, like we're talking about right now, you know, it's really you need to really do your own research and find the right person you connect with. And like you said, this person has a track record. And before you decide, I believe, like, you know, there's a lot of preparation into it and research. You have to do it before you decide. But in the end of the day, it's like you know, you need to be careful you don't go, because in the end of the day, sometimes you have to take a leap of faith, you know, like, and just go like your intuition says. Because for me, when I did, you say I did a past regression, and it was like a friend told me he was organizing this, and I just went with this woman on a dinner. Before we all went to a dinner, we had a dinner, and during that time I was like, oh, okay, I feel good around her. Her energy is like, I can trust her energy, let's call it like that. And I did it, and we had like 3 sessions later on through time. But you know, sometimes it's just like, okay, I'll do it too. But in general, you need to educate yourself and do research.
Exactly, but I'll say do all the research and overslap your decision. If you still put, when you're at peace, then you decide. Like I run a Facebook group for people with spine challenges, and one lady was pretty active. She's from UK, and she's a psychotherapist, by the way. And we talked because she didn't have any solutions, and when she finally became pain-free, just using free accessible knowledge in the group, she went into the gym, do the stuff on her own, and she re-injured, right? Again, nothing wrong with the gym. What you do there is what decides the outcome. And I talked to her like, why don't you hire somebody, right? You don't need to work with me. Hire somebody who knows the spine knowledge. She said, I already paid 6 top-notch, they are really not top-notch spine experts, in my opinion, because they're not even able to diagnose her. And said, I lost all my money working with these people. And I then asked her a very simple question. What was your intuition process deciding with whom you're going to work?
Exactly.
And she was like, silent. And I was just thought, like, what kind of psychotherapist are you that intuition is not really important?
Wow.
Important area for your clients and for you. When we talk about ayahuasca, one guy in my group is physiotherapist, and he asked me if he can jump on the call with me. I said, yeah, let's go jump on the call. Like, I tried to educate every single doctor and physiotherapist on the basic and direct them. I'm talking about mechanics, right? And we talked for like 5 minutes. I said, can I ask one personal question? I said, yes. And said, what's with your father? And he just started body language, really nervous. And he just spilled out the beans. He had big issues with his father. But we didn't talk anything about his family. And then the next question was, what's your deal with ayahuasca? He has 0 things on ayahuasca on his Facebook profile. And then he had really deep, profound experience with ayahuasca. By the way, I never did ayahuasca. But where did these questions came into my mind? They came through intuition. So there is always a knowledge, a science, and intuition working together, asking right kind of questions, addressing, finding the cause of the things, and then creating solutions that are holistic and specific for you, not for the next guy, for you. So that's nothing new. Mentoring system is millennials old system in the humans, in the human race. And
yeah. Sorry to interrupt you. I really have a question for you, if you maybe know the answer, because I don't have the answer. All right. So we mentioned also in our podcast before, we talked about ayahuasca or psychedelic treatments, plant-based, different kind of it. And we always say, like, you really need to be careful with this stuff, who you're working with, because if it goes wrong, it can go really, it can be even worse, okay? And until a couple of weeks ago, I never met a person who actually that happened because he worked with the wrong people. He went to ayahuasca session with the wrong people, and his mental state went from going there to find a solution to even worse, where his life is literally now in shit because of that. And
shamans have expression for that.
wait, let me just finish the question. So because he worked with the wrong people, okay, and in one of our podcasts, the guest Simon Prosin, he said like that, he explained to me what was for some reason for me all my life kind of made sense, but I didn't know that, I didn't see it from the way he explained. So he said like, okay, you go to ayahuasca, where ayahuasca has home, so that's South America. So you need to go there because the energy is there, the right energy, the fields. So in Slovenia, we have different, so each country has their own plant-based medicine, yes, right? So if you're doing ayahuasca, you go there because that's the right energy for it. So you don't bring ayahuasca to Slovenia because it's not the same energy. It's not from here in general, right? So it's not recommended. My question to you is, do you maybe know what this person can do to reverse this effect of working with the wrong person in ayahuasca shaman? So because he has really bad mental problems now. So let's make that clear.
Yeah, the situation that probably happened is what the shaman called opening the black sack, or opening the black box.
Okay.
The thing we discussed with Tomasz before we went on
live
on the Zoom call, opening, getting into your childhood, and I said it's absolutely necessary to work on yourself, to address the childhood, to work on your subconscious, right? This subconscious defines us, right? It guides us. It's more powerful. Conscious will wins the battle, subconscious wins the wars.
The wars.
And I said, like, our issues are like fishes. We are fish that we swim in our life, and our issues are other fishes. And if you meet fish that's smaller than you, right, you can eat it. It's the same size of you, a little bit bigger. You can fight it. You can get more knowledge. You can put more work in, be more regular, and then you eat it. And there are some fishes that will on any given day eat us until we eat enough small fishes regularly that we outgrow that fish, and then we're finally able to go fight with the big fish, right? And when you just open every single problem in the subconscious and let people access, like, suppressing of our emotions is defense mechanism, and is there with the purpose, right?
Yep.
There is with the purpose. Why we need our defense? We need things suppressed. How would I live my life constantly crying my eyes out and being depressed and being scared and being anxious, whatever my problems are? I need to get my problems out in chewable chunks. So the short answer to your questions, remedy for working with wrong person is working with the right person. And I can give you an example of that situation. So,
okay, before you continue, just do you, like, do you have a, because I don't know him well. I met him a couple of times. I just want to explain this because I want to help him. So I want to instruct him, or I want to give him some directions. If he wants to take those directions, up to him. But do you maybe have actually an actual person on your mind that you could recommend?
Several. Yeah.
Several. Okay, we'll talk about. You'll give me those names later. But like, you know what is funny, because I met him.
I can give you a quick checklist to test if you work with the right person, if you want.
I would
not actually recommending people, but my checklist that works for me.
Okay, please go. Yeah. If you want to share it now, please do the check. What is your checklist, please?
Yeah. First of all, we have the life we have with the personality mind we have currently, right? It's like if I'm a student and I have a grade in math like that, and I cannot get any higher because this is my currently mind, right? Mm-hmm. And my personality is maybe I like math, maybe I don't know, that's my personality. Then there is work I put in, and that limits my reach. And in Slovenian language, the word for reach is lučaj, and the word for random is slučaj. And there is nothing random in your reach. So what you need to understand when you are spinning inside your personality and mind, and especially at the worst time, if you're spinning in that your ego mind games, the solutions you will want to go, the places you will go are probably not the good ones. So it doesn't matter how bad you are. If you're so bad that your ego is completely obliterated, chances are, if you just totally surrender, you'll have a good idea. And you can be inside your personal hell, like nightmare of the soul, right? But when you're somewhere in between and you're still spinning within the ego, and I should be better, and why is this so long? And you're angry and frustrated, and you search for the solutions, like, have this previous expert, I'm searching for the next one, I'm searching for the next one. Chances are you're not getting the right solution. So first is, no matter how bad your life is for you, take a few minutes, count your breath in, breath out, slow down your breath. If you can walk, if you can sit in the nature, go sit in the nature for an hour or so. Leave your phone in the car and do this several times repeatedly. Ideas will start to come into your mind. Maybe you just go off that walk. Maybe you'll meet somebody on the walk when you feel different. You know, I try to talk to people, but sometimes they're so negative, I stop talking. If they would be positive, I would direct them to the right person. I would just listen, read that book, right? Right. So that's first. As hard as it sounds, get into the nature, count your breath, get in touch with you, and repeat that several times. Maybe the solution will not come right time. Second time, look which suggestion, which people you turn down. Because when I look at my life, back in my life, I'll give an example for my kid's cancer. My kid was very likely not only born with the cancer, he already had a cancer tumor on adrenal glands inside mother's womb. And the sign of that neuroblastoma tumor is one pupil is bigger. And the doctors was already searching something like ultrasound. And they didn't tell what they were searching for. They found nothing, right? And then the kindergarten teacher said, he was like 2 years in kindergarten, you should check for his blood. That was her intuition. I checked nothing. We're living healthy, vegan diet, yada, right? My kid has no cancer, right? No problems. So I turned some people down, right? If you talk about burnout, I told you that the guy that later helped me 2 years before my burnout, he said, just mention, really casual, not pushing anything. We should work together one-on-one. We were working in the group setting, right? And the third thing is, are you searching something? Are you looking to the things that's completely different? If core exercises have not helped for my spine, maybe I should look outside exercises, right? If all breathing techniques did not help me, maybe I should look outside breathing techniques. If sitting down meditation did not help me because I was not grounded, maybe I should just work on my garden. Mm-hmm. And then meditate. But the solution is not inside this fluffy spiritual world. The solution now for your meditations to actually grip into you, to create results, is you being grounded. So go work on your garden. Follow the Slovenian tradition. Have a garden. Everybody has a garden, right? So that would be 3. Decide from a good place. See what guys you turned out, because in my experience, solutions are almost always knocking on your doors. You are not the guy opening the doors. And the third one is look really outside the areas you're looking in, right? If you like sports and try to get more energy just searching for another sport, another exercise, chances are you're not finding your solution there. And again, if we look into spiritual nations like Thailand nations, for them, for monks, Buddhist monks, is really big surprise that there is a thing called sport, that you can actually feel better, get more energy with the aerobic exercise. For them, this is just not a thing, but let's just meditate. For some meat-headed guy, meditation is an idea. You see what I'm getting from. It's just this, there are areas in their life that are not getting covered because everybody does what he's already good at and tries to build on what he's already good at. Nothing wrong with that, but yeah, I hope I answered the question with the
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So regarding this, how to say, because I just want to return a little bit, right? Maybe like in this case, this particular case, I have actually, it's funny because I met him. I want to give you my experience about this intuition, right? And I met him, this person, about a year ago. He came to visit some people I was having coffee with, and his energy, like I couldn't stand him right away. It bothered me right away. Never met him before. Didn't talk to me. I don't know anything about him. He came in. I was like, I can't be around you. Like literally, it was like, I don't want to be around this guy, right? Mm-hmm. And I could feel immediately my energy draining from like just living. I was like next to him. Until the point he came, I was like, fine. I was like, no issue, no nothing. And like just came, he started bothering me right away. He presence, right? Mm-hmm. And every time I met him, I was like, I can't even be next to him. Like, a week ago, I was walking with a friend. I was in the center of Ljubljana. We were walking, talking. It's like, oh, it's him. And I was like, yeah, good. And I just can't, right? Mm. And after that, I was like, my friend told me, like, he was like, yeah, he did ayahuasca and things like that, right? Mm. And I was like, oh, okay. And his life got worse, and it's like, oh, okay, now makes sense why I can't stand him. He's somewhere, I don't know what is it, maybe some other thing. But what's your opinion on maybe on my reaction to him? Because
it seems to me like you guys really dug into inner work and working yourself. Like you started to develop, do stuff you never did before in your life. Is that correct?
For me, I would say that talking to you today, let's say yes. I would say that I'm really like, I decided to do this, yeah, but I did it in the past, but like I did it to some level, but now it's like I'm dealing with this and until I'm done. Let's call it.
Well, it's you know, there will always be next level, and you know, for the guys who sat in front of the computer on the job before TV whole life, they just start walking. That's huge step. Walking the forest on the trail and then without the trail, next huge step, right? But the reason why I asked this is I was kind of forced to work on myself because I experienced first violence, physical violence, as a baby from my father, who was mentally sick, right? So I was starting with the trauma of the bed, right? And I could barely function. I could not watch the news. There was too much violence for me to watch the news. And truth to be told, news are usually violent, right? But I just needed to work on myself just to kind of be functional. I need like 3 decades of work on myself not to be suicidal, right? Not to be depressed 1 year straight and so on. Not for someone just to look me a little bit weird way and I would have this big reaction. So I can really relate to that, you know, you just cannot stand somebody and this really disturbs you, right? But then when I started to work and I abandoned work on myself so many times. I give up on myself so many times, but I had no other chance than just to come back. For me, the really big gift was that through my dreams in my early age, I had repetitive dreams. I just need to close my eyes and I would see stuff from Baroque, right? So from medieval times in Baroque. And I could not see that stuff anywhere. Like, I'm an old school guy. We had black and white television with 3 channels on. I could not see that stuff on. And later on, I learned about the reincarnation. So I learned basically that I could not kill myself. And that was like a safety block for myself not to kill myself, because I was really, really suicidal. Because the way I felt innerly, I could not win. Anything that I would do, I would never be good enough. If some people came into conflict with me and they like won whatever the conflict won, I would feel defeated. If I would want the conflict with some aggression, because I could not do it otherwise, I did know better, I would feel defeated because I used aggression. I could not tolerate in my aggression and aggression from outside, right? I would feel defeated all the time. Then, you know, year by year, decade by decade, slowly I found out the right techniques for me, right? Holistic for you, that started to move me, that I could see the person, I could not tolerate it. Maybe they was my coworker. And with regular work, not telling anything, not resolving any relationship with that person. By the way, usually these people, everybody else was hating and not tolerating. Then I became cool with these people. They're not my best friends, but I had zero reaction to them. And then they came just like a fractional moment. I would carry a garbage bin out and bang. I just had a realization how I behaved 5 years ago. And I really behaved like a dick. I really behaved like really not good person towards my mentors, towards my peers, my coworkers, my friends. And like Metod, you were so full of, you know, poo-poo. And if I would realize in that given moment that I was acting so so not good. I would want to kill myself. I want to hang myself, you understand? So it's much easier. I had the next realization, it's much easier to project stuff on others. So now you want to kill others. So the way the stuff works is the resonance. If I have internal frequency, let's say of anger, of depression, of frustration, only small amount of it, and the person near to me has huge, and he's rocking, he's vibrating with this resonance, he starts to shake my internal issue. And I cannot stand that because I just got resonant with his issue. And this is what it's called, you know, people are showing you mirrors.
I understand.
And yeah, I'm not saying
no, I'm actually thinking about this right now. Like, the thing is, I understand what you're talking about. I'm really trying to understand and look at from my point of view and going around on the situation. The thing is, like, I don't really talk to this person. You understand? Like, I don't know him. I don't go for coffee with him. It's just like, usually I see him when he's with other people that I know. So I'm there, like, we're talking here, he would come to see them, not and I'm just like, I don't want to even be close to you. Not because what they told me or whatever. I just like, I'm like, I can't be around you because I feel negative. Like, it's really weird. Like,
I really can relate that not like just I cannot stand the person, right? Like I want this person to go away. I want to compete with this person. I want to
This is not the case with here. Like, I'm just like,
these are reactions.
I don't want to
these
be
are
around.
reactions we can get, but really possible causes that they just display on the huge screen the issue we have inside. Another possible case is that we have some story from our past lives. Like you guys, you have this experience. You meet a guy and you just feel him like you know him from ever. You just spoken 3 sentences. You're the best friends. You're already on the beer, already planning vacations with family together. Whatever, right? And then you have these guys. You see here only in the elevator. This person has done nothing to you. And like, I cannot stand this person, right? That's another option. But in both cases, every single time you will start to work on yourself, you will start to see this part that resonates and say, wow, like, this is also me. This is also me. And when you start decreasing that part and you transform it, then this person can be, you know, have whatever issues they have, you are not resonating with them. You can even feel them not being okay, but you're not going crazy with it. So the challenge is always not to try to solve internal problems externally, right? That's the challenge. But we need to be grateful for these people, because if we would see our whole dark side, unresolved issues.
I understand what you're saying.
Not doable. Everybody goes literally crazy, like your friend. That's and when this happens, usually the official medicine psychiatrists are not able to help you, and you're doomed. You're on
they can't help me. I'm not a psychiatrist. But like, for me, I understand, Metod, what you're saying. Just it's funny. I don't know. For me, it's the way I saw it at that point was like, now that I'm thinking about it, it was more like, maybe, let's say, my previous version of me would try to help him or solve it or help everybody. And he was like, nah, you know what? I don't need that energy right now in my life. It's like, it's not, you know, not my problem. Not in sense like going to help, like dealing with it, but it's like, yeah, I don't want that. I don't know. I'll think about what you're saying. I'll try to find the point of view, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Well, I believe that what we need, it happens in our life. So
Of course.
For me, without exception, and I'm doing this internal work for more than decade. It's not 3 decades, not 50 years. I'm not a master, but
you never
every single time, without exception, I found, oh, there is a lot of poo-poo inside of me that's vibrating. Outside every single time. So if these people or situation would not come to my life, I would not have this ability to be stirred, right? It's, for me, advancing, getting better, elevating yourself, it's so much more interesting than just doing all the same me all the time, right? Learning new stuff, new skills, meeting new people, maybe even starting new business. That's so interesting compared to just feeling same emotions, same frustration, meeting same blockages. And now it feels really, nobody wants to be challenged, right, with these situations. But at the same time, if you follow up internally on that challenge being presented, your life becomes so much more rich and interesting. In all other levels. Like you asked the question on the spine rehab, what people need in the spine rehab to heal faster. They need energy. Every time you resolve the energy issue, emotional issue, your body has more energy, so you rehab faster. Maybe we could finish with that.
Actually, you're reading my mind. I was just my next question was to Tomasz. He has another any question, the last question. So maybe we can, for today, we're done. But
yeah, he has. He touched.
I have one, but really, I will really let it for the next time, because it's sort of controversial to what we have discussed today. And it's not just a
good. Talk, okay, good. We'll leave it for
you can let time. It out, so we know what we'll continue with next time.
For you to, let's say, to check it out, maybe you even already know it. So do you have you heard for a guy, John Ernest Sarno?
Yeah, that's quite frequently
healing back pain.
Yeah.
The mind-body connection. This is for me. Okay, I'm also on the path to use the energies which are in us to help others to get rid of health problems. And I confronted myself with a colleague of mine who has a back pains, and usually the technique I'm using, it works. But in this case, it came back. The pain comes back after a few days. And then I got this book where it says that many pains in the body are related to, it's a psychosomatic condition, actually. So the subconsciousness is trying to suppress our feelings.
Yeah.
And later on...
That's actually, sorry to interrupt you, but that's excellent question. And again, does not have a simple answer on it. But how much pain is perceived pain, and how much pain is actual pain deriving from actual injury and mechanical deviations in our body? That's a great topic.
And I really would like to make it next time, because it's not.
Because
we need an energy for that also.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So guys, if you we agree on, we'll leave that one for the next time.
Yeah, we will. I will just share this, that many of my clients use the Sarno's approach with a great success, and even more with zero. So we will get into the mechanics and threads of it next time. Thank thank you guys so much for opportunity. I'm really enjoying talking to you.
Yeah, same here. Same here.
Yeah.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you,
Until the next
everybody.
time.
And Metod, we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.